Welcome back, everybody. Today we are going to be making crepe roll-ups with einkorn flour. We're going to start with 6 eggs in our KitchenAid or stand mixer, and then a half a cup of einkorn flour, preferably through a sifter, but this part is not required. I just find that it helps the overall process. Next, we are going to go in with our vanilla extract and cinnamon. And the ingredients will be on the description along with all the measurement sizes for everything. So once we have those in, we're gonna lightly start to whisk this in our stand mixer, and after that we're gonna go in with our milk, which is half cup of milk. So now that we have all of our ingredients in, we're gonna get this incorporated, turn up the speed on our stand mixer to 2 or 3, let that go for about 45 seconds or so, and we're done. It shouldn't be too thick, but you don't want it too liquidy either, just kind of right in the middle. I use my stainless steel pan for this and butter, and initially what I have found is you'll tend to have almost always, your first crepe just be the ugly crepe as you're trying to dial in the temperature on your pan, which should be about medium heat. And you want to make sure that you bring it up to a good heat so that it browns the back of the crepe. And you can see here we have a little browning, but it's not quite where we want it. But that's okay. They taste perfectly fine. And this is how you know they're done. On that back side, you see those little freckles, those dark freckles on the crepe. So on this one here, you can tell our pan is heated up a little more. And I usually use my non-dominant hand to turn the pan until all of the cake batter is incorporated around. We can check here. All right, we're getting closer. Pan is just about right, but we're still bringing it up to heat. And these crepes are perfectly fine and delicious anyway. And I'm just putting them off to the side in a tortilla warmer, but you can just put them on a plate. And I usually do about maybe every 2 to 3 crepes, I'll add a little more butter. You don't have to add butter every time. It's unnecessary. And I'm showing you the process here. It kind of takes a minute, but I usually go until the trail of the crepe batter completely stops, and then I'll put it back on the heat. So these are starting to turn out just perfectly fine, and we are almost to the point where we have our pan exactly where we want it. And you it takes a few times of doing this to get the hang of it, but once you get it, kind of rocking back and forth on the pan to make sure the batter goes all the way around the edges. And you can see it kind of really slowed to a stop there, and so we'll put it back down. There we go. That's the color we're looking for, is that browning on the back, but not burnt. We don't want a burnt crepe. We just want a little browning, and then the freckles on the other side. Perfectly done. Now you can use regular flour for this. I just tend to like the einkorn flour as it's a little bit healthier overall, and I honestly don't taste a big difference between all-purpose regular flour and all-purpose einkorn flour. And so I'd rather have something more nutritious and delicious. These are just coming out perfectly now. And so here's the warmer I was telling you about. I usually just keep them in here, and that comes with a cover. So if I want to cover it up and eat some for later, we can always do that. If you end up with a little hole, you can just add a little batter. No big deal. Do the same process over and over. And so for a half, this is a half recipe. A full recipe would be 12 eggs, but we're doing 6. And so this would be perfect for a family of 4 or a family of 2. And if you have a larger family, I would definitely go for the full recipe. But yeah, I'll add all that in the description so that you can adjust it to what works best for you. We're almost done here. You can tell the pan is definitely hot, and we're getting toward the end of our batter as it appears a little more thick now, because it's just been sitting over on the side in a bowl, and some of the thicker pieces of batter have kind of sunk to the bottom. That's perfectly fine. We just keep going and doing our thing. They just taste amazing, and I can't wait to eat these. The last one, I generally just pour the rest of what I can out of the bowl, and usually makes another ugly crepe. But this one's a little thicker too, but they all taste just fine. So now that we're done, we want to plate them up, and generally you can just set this in the center of the table, and we usually eat these with any jam or preserves. I'm going with boysenberry here. You can add Nutella, peanut butter, tapioca, all sorts of different things to these, but we like to spread them across, and this is what we've always done in our family. And then we roll them tight as we can, and we make these kind of jam crepe roll-ups that are just absolutely tasty and delicious. Cut them in half so you can kind of get a look at the cross section. See the jam kind of starts pouring out of the pores here. Just a tasty treat. I can eat a whole batch of these. And if you want more of a savory crepe, I just wouldn't add the cinnamon or the vanilla extract, and it's perfectly fine that way. We've done these with eggs, pesto, bacon, some cheese. You can roll up and make absolutely delicious breakfast, like burritos or breakfast tacos with them. They're so good. And now I'm just going to try, this is my favorite preserve, which is strawberry. And this is one of my favorite things to do. It's just tightly wrap them up. I'm actually going to do another video on a full Sunday crepe spread that we do that involves the tapioca, whipped cream, bacon, strawberries. It's wonderful. But this is just a quick snack, a delicious morning meal, and you just can't get enough of these things. Hey, by the way, if you guys are liking these videos, please give me a subscribe and leave a comment. Would love to see that. Thank you so much.